Start at 4:33 p.m. This is the Public Art Advisory Committee, Monday, May 6th at 4:30 p.m. Public may join via Zoom or at City Hall in the large conference room. Do a roll call vote. Chair Greenlee is absent. Vice Chair Salmon.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cunningham.
Here.
Councilmember Davis.
Here.
Park and Rec Commissioner Sewell is absent. Committee Member Glassman.
Here.
Committee Member Kelstead.
Here.
We're gonna do the approval of the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes from April 15th, 2024.
Approved. Second.
Okay, all in favor except for Kelstead?
Aye.
All right, you wanna kick us off for item C?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, we're here. That's right. That's me. Well, welcome. Well, because I forgot Lisa's not here.
That's why I just started going.
Welcome to our round table, well, oblong table. We appreciate you coming today. Thank you so much. And our C is to discuss the arts master plan with you, with our outreach that you have given us presently, that I was just looking at.
Mhm.
So thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Molly. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you for coming this evening. You'll see that, they had, put out a draft of the Public Art Master Plan survey, and they kind of want to walk us through it and then get any feedback, input, suggestions that you would like to see or any changes.
Can we go through each one all together?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's our plan for today. I just, before we jump into each individual question, I just wanted to introduce you to like how we arrived here. So, one, we do these often for master planning, obviously. So we're using questions that we know have been very well received in the past and that are easy to answer. And we really want to make sure that we can walk away with results from the community to find out how the community feels about the role of art, the locations of public art, and preferred criteria for art. We also want to make sure that we understand how the community recognizes and identifies itself, because that'll help to inform the identity of Brisbane. We can gather what we can, but really hearing from everyone who lives there is obviously a lot more powerful. And then we also want to just make sure that this is very easy to understand for everybody, because not everybody's an art expert. Not everybody knows how to even like talk about art, or may not even understand what public art is. So we really just want to keep it straightforward as well. And again, easy to do, and not, I think they just released the study that humans now have less attention span than a goldfish. So we also want to make this something people will actually get through the whole thing. So we don't want to have too many questions either.
Well,
So anyway,
issue was only 3 seconds. Ted Lasso was off. No.
So I'll go ahead and pass it over to Olivia, but just wanted to give you guys sort of like a little bit of a brief on how we arrived here. And then we'll just jump into it and we can start going through question by question.
All right, so can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I zoom in a bit?
Please.
How about that? Maybe out one. Okay,
Actually,
So,
can you
right-
go in one more?
one more.
Bigger.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's
Bigger.
better. Thank you.
So So right now, this survey is just in a Google Doc form so that we can get your responses, make some revisions, but then it'll be translated into a Google form. And if you're not familiar with that, you may have taken one in the past, but it'll feel more like a formal survey where, you know, you can click next and we can take the results and then we'll get all this wonderful data on the back end. We'll start out by just letting people know that the survey is intended to gather feedback about the forthcoming public art plan. And then to learn more about the plan actually links to the city website where we had put together some language about what it is that we're working on. And we'll also update that with the dates that we're going to be there to be doing community outreach later in July. So by participating in the survey, folks are acknowledging that the results will be used in the development and promotion of the plan. Then we want to start by giving just a high-level definition of public art. So we said that it is any temporary or permanent display of art that was specifically designed to be viewable by the public, either on public or private property. And examples include murals, sculptures, mixed media installations, integrated architectural art, and artist-designed functional pieces. So again, feel free to stop me at any point, but I'm going to just dive into the questions now. And thanks to Noreen and Angel for looking at a first draft of this with us and getting it to a place where we felt like we wanted now all of your opinions on it. So we want to start by asking whether people live, work, visit the city of Brisbane, because, you know, if they answer D, that they don't live there, but they visit often, maybe that's going to influence the rest of their answers in the survey, right? So that'll just give us a good starting point to understand who exactly is taking this survey. Is it mostly residents or is it others that visit the community? And we'll ask where in Brisbane do folks live, and they'll get to select one of these 5 locations. So again, it'll be interesting to see how some of the other responses kind of, you know, end up given where they're located.
So just real quick, I just caught this. So if I say that I work in Brisbane, so maybe the question 2 could be, where do you live or work in Brisbane? I'm not sure how that works. Or does that matter? Or only answer question 2 if you live in Brisbane?
Yeah,
That's a good point, yeah.
So-
That is a good point.
I mean, to
like
discuss.
skip, you should be able to skip option 2.
Skip 2 if you don't live in Brisbane or
And
something.
people can live in the marina?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have
On the
liveaboards.
boat?
Mhm.
I thought you could only stay for like 3 days, now you can
Mhm.
stay.
You have to apply a while ago.
Yeah.
Quite a while ago.
10%.
10%
Okay.
of the boats can be liveaboards.
Great.
Online, how clear is this map?
It's not
Say that
online.
again?
Well,
Yeah, it will be.
okay, yeah, but I'm concerned about the clarity of this map, because I'm looking at it and
Yeah.
going,
Yeah,
where
I
is my
can't
house?
tell.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what might be helpful is, you know, one. Like, I don't even know
Say
which
ridge.
area is one, okay, the ridge,
2 Crocker, 3
Right.
is the probably
Central.
below
Maybe
Alvarado
two.
Street.
We'll see, like, no one would live in Crocker too.
Well, that's what,
But you could work there.
But-
Yeah, but are we-
So-
are we asking them if they work and to answer this?
Mm,
That was your question, remember?
right?
Yeah.
But,
that's something you guys can discuss.
yeah, it
then.
just, I think it would be helpful if we put the
hard to
regional
tell.
designations
And what is
on.
4?
4 is probably where.
Upper streets.
And-
Yeah. Here,
So that would be us.
Like Alvarado, that's like that swoop is like Alvarado Street, so anything below the school is that area, right?
I'm just saying, I know I should know the
Yeah.
map better.
Well, it's really
but
hard
it
to
just-
tell.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want,
So it would
Yeah.
be helpful if we have like our, the way.
Yeah.
We refer to different regions of the city on there as
So,
well.
so yeah, if we can just back up just a wee bit. So I work in Brisbane. Well, if somebody works in Brisbane, the person answering it could be one of our CFOs, CEOs, management people
Right.
in some of the bigger businesses that contribute a lot to the city in various ways. So I think they should be included in number two.
Okay. So
Yeah, but that question is, where do you live?
Yeah,
But
so
no,
we
it
can
can
change
change the
it.
question.
So
If
I
you
think you need to have
live
two
over-
questions.
Again, I agree.
If you answer like, well, the problem is I live and work in Brisbane. So if you answer like, I live in Brisbane, you're taken to this question.
Mhm.
And Google Forms can do that. If you answer B, then you're taken to the question about work. Do you work in Crocker? Do you work in Sierra Point? Or Baylands, or whatever,
Marina.
the industrial? So, well, that would be Sierra Point, right? So then there's those questions. And then if you live and work in Brisbane, then you're asked you answer both questions. If you care about where they live, like, I don't know, do
Well,
we
some people
care?
may have in-home, may work
Have
from their
in-home
homes.
business, yeah.
There you go.
I would,
Yeah, you-
I
I
would just
guess.
answer like I live, like.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
some
you
people
could be
may
living
want
in
to do
Yeah.
the other.
But
That's-
You may
then-
just
and then
do
also,
it
and then also
same
thinking
method.
you would jump to question three.
Or
Yeah.
if, like Massa
Or-
says,
yeah.
does it even matter where they are?
Do
on
we
the map?
care
Do we
where
care?
they are on the map?
As
Like,
long
does
as they
that,
have a stake
Oh,
in-
do we really care?
but
I-
do we care about that information? Do I care if
That's
somebody,
true.
if somebody says they live at the Ridge, am I gonna look at their responses any differently?
No,
The only reason that it might is when we're designating areas where we're going to look at putting art. If there are a lot of people on the ridge who are heavily involved and interested in some of these other questions later on, that means that that becomes a primary area that we should be looking at, developing art in that area.
But I thought because of the
It's very
HMO, we
limited,
can't
though.
do
We
it.
can't do that?
We
Okay.
can't. See
We
what
can
I'm
do it
saying?
at Mission Blue. You
So
go-
we
Mission,
can do it at
that was
Mission
only
Blue.
Mission Blue.
But,
remember?
but that's the only reason that I think that that might be a valuable question to see like where the interest is in different areas in the city. Only in
That's-
terms of where we're targeting. I mean, it's, you know, I mean,
Yeah, Brisbane's so small, I agree. I don't know if we really need.
yeah,
to
I
let
don't
people
know
live
that
and
we
work.
need it.
We
but
talk
it
about the
might
Ridge
be
all the time, I think,
Yeah.
like, anyway, like,
Yeah.
how can we get hydrants up there? How can we like
Right.
involve the Ridge? I feel like that's integral part of like
I agree.
our conversations anyway.
Okay.
You're just
Even
crossing
at
it
the
out.
marina, I mean, like, we talk about, if you're at Sierra Point, like, we talk about art at the marina, we talk about art through Crocker Industrial, we talk about. So I don't know.
What
that
about,
this-
what about data outreach? What if we notice that
Actually,
we're lacking in
I
one
have to say,
area?
yeah.
Well, we are gonna be,
You know
because
what?
some
Yeah.
people just
I'm just trying
generally
to
don't
Throw ideas.
respond.
Yeah.
Why don't you do 3 spots
Wait,
then?
wait. I think
Yeah.
probably the better question, as opposed to where you are if you're answering the survey, is where would you like to see art post?
Well, there's one. in-
Yeah.
We have that, yeah, we have that later.
revisit this After we look at the other
There's one in there
questions.
for that, but I agree. I don't know if we need them.
I think we can take it out then. I mean, our curiosity was coming from the Ridge
Take it out.
conversations.
Some people might
Um,
not even feel comfortable answering that.
That-
They can skip it, but
And
yeah.
one of the things in town we're trying to be with everything is inclusive. This kind of has a little bit of an exclusive air
Sure.
So
to it.
it becomes directive selective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
okay, cool. All right, let's get it rid of it. We're done. Thank you.
Good conversation.
Move on.
So we're removing number 2, but keeping number 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good discussion. That's what we want to do with these. So what is your relationship to and or familiarity with the existing public art in Brisbane? Select 1. I
So
don't
this is-
care.
Oh,
Go
okay,
ahead.
sorry, we're gonna go through all the end.
No, go ahead. I mean, you have them in front of you. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Oh, I think this is the question I have the most, the biggest issue with, because it's a select one. For me, I'm D, I'm E, and I'm F. I
Mm.
appreciate it, I wanna see more of it, and I know Brisbane's public art collection
so
well.
it could be a multiple.
So I don't
Yeah.
feel like this is a select one question.
Select as many as
As
apply
many as
to.
apply to
Yep.
you.
Yeah, like.
Select all that apply. I like it.
Actually works better with the rest of the questions.
Yeah, cause a lot of them are like that.
Cause everything else is select one or more, rank them.
Good.
I also was thinking that it might be good to have another choice in there, which is, I didn't even know that we have a public art collection.
Right. Yes.
That could,
Like,
yeah,
I
that
didn't
could,
even know that
Yeah.
there was public art in Brisbane, because.
Yeah, that's a good-
Yeah.
be the
That's
first
really
one,
great.
Olivia.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That.
cause that I think is important information for us to know.
Mhm.
Well,
too.
I mean, even when we talk about the plugs down at the little plug park behind the toilets in the main park. It's probably a lot of people who've never walked back it behind there, and it's such a beautiful, peaceful little area.
Yeah, or even define things as the hydrants as public art.
Yes.
They
Like
don't
that's,
see it.
so that's kind of the other,
Oh,
like,
I like that. Let's add that.
yeah, I mean, that's why I think that question is kind of
Yeah.
important. as far
Very
as
true,
how
because it
we're-
opens the door for a discussion and education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm adding, I didn't know we had a public art collection.
Perfect.
You're gonna get that, I'm sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So number 4, what is your understanding of the city's public art funding and selection process? Select all.
Can
that
you
apply.
put, sorry,
No.
can you put, I didn't know Brisbane had a public art collection
Sorry.
instead of we? Okay.
Okay. Yep, and then number 4 is asking about whether they understand the city's funding and selection process for public art. Any comments there?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
Makes
that's a
Right.
good
I
one.
think that's fine.
So 5, the city of Brisbane would like to gather resident ideas for public art. By what means are you most likely to participate? Rank in order of preference. How do we feel about these answers?
Check all of the above.
Oh.
Checking.
Rank in order?
This is
Yeah.
rank and order.
Oh,
we can,
oh, it's just.
I think
And the
that's a
idea
really-
behind asking them to
Lovely.
rank in order of preference was, you know, if the city could only actually do 1 or 2 of these,
Got it.
then we'd
Oh,
understand the
okay.
preference, whereas if we select all that apply, it may not be that you all can end up implementing these.
Got it.
I get it.
So an anonymous feedback form, is that open-ended? Like, I just don't want that to be confused with a survey and how, you know, cause they're both kind of like response forms, so
Sure.
an anonymous feedback form, is that like there's someone's just writing, you're just free writing, or you're responding to questions? 'Cause if you're responding to questions, that seems like a survey.
Yeah, well, we can certainly change this, and Molly, feel free to chime in. I know we've seen some cities do like a Dropbox format where there is like a public comment on their website, and it's not responding to questions, but it's literally providing feedback.
Or how about instead we just do, add a one that says other?
Sure.
Or
They could
comment.
I'm
write it
just
in.
trying to make
You know what
this
I mean?
more clear, like
That's what I'm saying,
separate the
maybe-
difference between A and C.
A and C.
Because I think that they could seem
Oh, yes.
similar,
yeah.
cause I
And-
would assume that a digital survey is also anonymous.
Anonymous, yeah.
True. That is
Yeah.
true.
Maybe we
So,
remove C.
I don't know that I would even wanna put that as an option, like, I think, would I just want the public to just have no direction and just free write comments to me, or would I want to have them focused on something like a survey, like here, we're focusing, like, the gathering the specific information we want versus just it being entirely open-ended, and I think if it's just entirely open-ended and it requires someone to come in or go somewhere and just write something, I think you get less, it's more work for your brain, you get less
Right.
responses, so I don't even know
Hmm.
if that is even a good.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
definitely, it's definitely one of those things like, do we want to open that can of worms at all? Because the city that does that, they basically just have on the arts website, hey, do you have an idea for a public art project? Submit
Yeah.
it here. So it's not a survey,
Which
it's
is
not
fine.
guided.
Which,
But-
that's
How
fine.
about a Dropbox about?
Yeah, maybe it's, maybe,
mean-
that's what I'm saying, maybe instead of through an anonymous feedback form where we could share comments, ideas, either virtually in person. Could it just be, an area where a feedback form, a designated,
I just think it needs
Yeah.
wordsmithing, so maybe you guys
Yeah,
can take that
wordsmithing,
back.
That's what it means. It
Yeah,
just
we'll,
needs
we'll do
wordsmithing.
that. We'll work on that one to make it easier to understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I would also suggest having an I don't want to participate on
Oh,
there.
that's good.
Because you're
Mm.
asking about, you know, how we're gathering ideas for public art, not necessarily anything about engaging with it, but it's the process of how we're gonna
Yeah.
come up with our master plan. So like giving people an option for I don't wanna participate
Yeah.
Yeah.
would keep me answering this survey too, because if I come to this one and I go, I don't wanna participate and there's no choice for me here.
Yeah, yeah,
gonna
yeah, agreed.
Good
Then you might
point.
be inclined to just hop off. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We're assuming,
Okay.
we're making an
and
assumption
it
about the
could be
response.
thanks, but at this time, I don't want to participate,
Yeah.
so that it's nice.
There.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe it's thanks, but at this time, I don't want to participate.
Right,
So they know that they can change their mind.
or I don't wanna participate in process of, or whatever,
Yeah,
yeah.
just at this time, period.
Yeah,
Done.
Okay.
We good? Okay. Number 6, there are several new developments on the horizon for Brisbane. How can public art influence the way these developments come to life? Select all that apply. The intention here, we kind of thought that some of these responses might be good to have to share in the final master plan with developers to sort of incline them to give public art some real thought and make sure that they're following the guidelines that result in the master plan.
I think this question needs context, which is
Mm.
that new development funds public art.
Ah,
Because that's a big, that's
Mhm.
the big, that's how we get our money.
Yeah.
So
That
if
could just be
they,
a statement right in there after there are several new developments on the horizon of Brisbane.
We'll start it with new developments fund public
I
art.
think
There are
that's-
several.
yeah.
1%,
that's
or
the
even
important
saying like
question.
1% of public art, 1% of the development budget,
Budget.
whatever, funds goes to the public art program or something. And then, cause then it said, public art would make me more inclined to support the new development. You have no context for that answer. If I knew though that the money from new development generated public art, then I would click A, but you would only really choose A if you knew its relationship.
That's where the.
With developments.
really important.
Yep.
I wouldn't say.
In
1%.
Brisbane.
I wouldn't say 1%, I'd just keep it really general, like new development funds. public
Funds.
art.
I think.
Okay.
New
that makes sense.
development, public fund, yeah.
Yeah, new development funds public art.
And that should be the. lead-in
Construction
statement.
I mean, I don't know if that's,
Just say helps fund public art.
Don't, you know.
We
really
can
need
throw
goals.
this at our attorneys when we're done to make sure
Yeah.
that. Because I know sometimes he switches words around that make them legal or keep us out of trouble.
I think that's good. New development helps fund, okay.
And
helps.
that also frames the question and is like, why do I care about this as
Yeah.
well? Like,
Yeah.
why are you know, when you're doing the survey,
Why-
why am I caring about this?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, because the development funds the public art.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good point.
Sure. Great. How do we feel about the responses?
Well, I have a thing about B.
Yeah, I do too.
B,
B. Well, there's two reasons why. I don't know if it's, I don't know, I don't understand the placement in the question. Are we all of a sudden saying that if everybody wanted a mural, we would be spending money on temporary
I
murals?
don't know if we give them
to
option,
cover-
we don't.
To cover a construction beam?
Yeah.
That's what makes me
I think
look at that
that's
and say
just-
that.
That's just I think that was an example. that
I
they were
understand,
coming
but
up-
if we
yeah,
got
I know.
100%, then all of a sudden we're saying,
Right,
Mm.
does that make sense? I
Yeah.
mean,
Like, we don't
This
wanna,
is a-
we don't wanna have something that could leave an impression of an expectation.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel
Thank
the
you.
same way.
Yes.
we could remove the example.
I
You
wonder
could
if we remove the
Mhm.
example, because I think the idea that public art could be used to build excitement could be really helpful information for the master plan and saying like, we need to have public artwork considered
before you start construction, we need to start, you know.
So
working
maybe
on it.
not during construction, maybe public art could be used to build excitement about a project.
Yeah, there we go. Well
Yeah.
done.
And if that is
And then
well.
don't
if
give an
that's-
example.
If that's well defined, then for some people, they're gonna say, oh, we're doing a new construction project over here. How exciting, there's gonna be some new public art to go with it. They'll know that.
Mhm.
And how do we feel about the example then with D?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's maybe not even, the example might even be kind of hard. People might not
Yeah.
understand large scale
I think
installations
people would-
now that I'm
yeah.
thinking about it.
The same way.
Take
Well,
that
and
out.
B and
Take
D, now that we've edited are similar. I mean, build excitement
Yeah.
and spark attention.
Yeah,
I think
think
that,
we
I
just
think
have
those are
keep
kind of the
one.
same now.
yeah,
Yeah.
there, I would just choose one.
Yeah,
Combine them.
or it could bring attention to these projects and Brisbane.
Which,
'Cause that's
oh,
like, that's
attention and
different,
excitement is kind of.
but it's,
You could say to spark excitement and
Spark
or to build
spark
excitement
attention
and spark
and build
attention.
excitement.
I mean, you could combine them,
Yeah.
Mhm.
use
Yeah.
build excitement and spark attention.
Okay, so I'm combining them into B now. Public art could be used to build excitement and spark attention about a project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great.
I think it's good that there's a right in here.
Yeah, I do
There's
too.
a lot of different
yeah,
possibilities that we're not even thinking of.
yeah, we're not even, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of these are all positive.
Yeah.
So you get it.
This is true.
Okay, the problem with E on 6 is public art could hinder these projects if the developer doesn't involve the community in the art selection.
Yeah, that
That's
was
a
a
problem.
problem.
Yeah.
Because if the new development is a privately funded project and they are paying for the public art, we don't really get to say much about it unless it's pornographic or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, public art wouldn't hinder a project. I mean, as long as like they,
Yeah, we need to
it's
just get
only
rid
if
of-
they don't give the right, if they haven't contributed, right? That hinders the
Mhm.
project, but
Can we just dump number E then?
Yeah, dump it.
Yeah.
Okay, get rid of D.
Remove E.
E.
Oh, E.
Excuse me.
E as in
Oh,
elephant.
it was E, but then I combined them, so it turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
So we're down to 3 answers with a right in.
Yes, which is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Again, people don't have a lot of attention, so 3 is a good number.
I don't know if we wanna have a negative answer in here though, like about, you know. It's more of a taste question, I guess.
Mm.
Just thinking it back to like a lot of the feedback that Tom Heights gave, like, oh, well, we didn't know about this and we don't like this because no one involved us. And like, I don't know if they're like, you know, one of the options might be like poorly chosen public art would make me dislike a development. But that's like insinuating that like we did a bad
Right.
job,
Yeah.
because not all people are gonna like all. So then you
Right.
get into this thing of like, is it for me, is it not for me, is my taste level, and therefore if it's not my taste level, is it still valuable? So we may not even wanna just get into that, if we have a write-in, it could take care of that, but I don't know if we wanna have like. Something that's like the positive and the negative, so we're always giving people like
That's why I think we
that
should get rid of E.
answer. No, I know, but should we replace it
Oh, I see.
with
What's it?
something negative?
Oh.
Because all the rest are positive responses,
Oh.
you know,
Oh,
like we're
I see
only
what you're
giving
saying.
them positive, they can only
Oh,
respond
yeah.
positively to this, we've taken out the one negative ability.
Well, the question is about how public art can influence the way these developments come to life. So it's kind of like you're generally asking for a
Yeah.
positive response on that one.
Yeah, that's true, because if people
Yeah.
don't like it, it's not gonna impact whether it comes to life
Right.
or not.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So the
Yeah.
write-in may just be
Yeah.
sufficient, I was just.
No, I think.
No, I think
I think it's good to have both sides.
For that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
okay, we're on to 7, we're doing great.
Well, what about, just sorry,
Oh.
to start out the number C, public art would ensure each development stays authentic to Brisbane, but I mean, if they get to choose their installation.
But we
Is it
still-
necessarily
have to- we still
authentic? Is that
have-
okay?
We still have some ability to direct
That
because
is
it's not
true.
completely in keeping.
Mhm.
Or that, you know, that there's something, and there's, I don't remember what the wording is, but there is a little bit of discretion that we have with a developer. Not a great deal, because it's
Right.
them, but we still have some discretion.
I think maybe a question, I
Does that
think,
mean you wanna?
I think maybe a response should be a better thing, is cause like. Some of these pieces aren't really authentic to
That's why I
Brisbane.
was.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not
Phase
really
three.
true.
Phase 3 is
But-
not authentic.
Yeah.
But I would say the better thing is that it creates opportunities for connection between citizens and businesses, or create
Maybe we
spaces
say
where,
availability.
something about creating
Yes.
space for, you know, where the
Conversation.
business community and the residents of Brisbane intersect, because you're you may be coming to, you may be drawn to go visit the phase
Would-
3
Can we
campus.
create an
say
intersection
available-
between the businesses and the community?
Yes.
Create an intersection between the businesses and the
Yes,
community.
that's it.
Instead of
Yeah.
stays
Yeah.
authentic.
Create an
I missed it.
intersection.
An
Create
intersection.
an
Public
intersection.
art would ensure that each development creates an intersection between public and private.
No.
No.
No,
Between
between businesses and the community.
The
Yeah.
businesses.
Thanks, yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
Community and the businesses,
Yeah, put them first.
with the community first, community
Yeah.
and businesses.
Mhm.
Or we'll get some flack. Yep, absolutely true.
And
Word person.
we're
on
gonna,
it.
that won't, I think we're changing, C though, right? Where it's
C.
gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, public art
Yeah.
would ensure each development creates an
Cause it's not
intersection.
necessarily authentic
Got
to
it.
Brit, I mean,
Yeah.
we're not saying like your piece of
All the
art has to be
art is gonna
authentic
be-
to our
Yeah.
themes.
Because I want totem poles at some point.
Mhm.
Well, I know that maybe the Ohlone Indians have, I love totem
No.
poles.
They did not.
They didn't.
No.
Definitely.
Okay, so the revision is public art would ensure each development creates an intersection between the community and businesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, can we go to 7?
Yeah, please.
What primary benefits do you hope future public art will bring to the city of Brisbane? Select the 3 choices.
This is the same question we asked all of you as well as the
Mhm.
state.
I think those are fine. I just think they're so funny.
I think,
Think they need to be reordered, though.
Why doesn't?
No, coming back to.
Civic pride's
thinking
gotta
about-
be at top.
No, community identity, so this is where I'm thinking, community identity, greater appreciation, civic pride, national recognition, economic development, and tourism last.
yeah,
Because what we're going from is community specific to the
Okay.
broader
there'll be,
world.
yeah.
And I think, you know, given the nature of Brisbane, that it's like community first,
Yeah.
community first,
Mhm.
community
Mm.
first is kind of the way my
Everything is
impression
done.
of this town is, that's the highest priority in this town, is the community identity.
Yeah, so I would say like community identity and civic pride may be too
Okay.
closely related, but I was kind of thinking like investment in public spaces. Maybe instead of civic pride, or in addition to, cause I think like people like the idea of using public art, like we're gonna enhance Firth, right? A
Mm.
place that's like maybe not widely used, but we're trying to use, or Crawford Trail, it is used, but like how can we lift that area up through art? And
Mm.
so, and our walkways, right, through lighting, artful lighting and those sorts of things, so I think that like, you know, investment in public spaces is a big
Yeah.
aspect to
Yes.
this.
It's
And I-
part
yeah,
of
and I think-
placemaking as well. I don't know if we can.
I think we want to be a little mindful of not changing it too drastically because we do
Right.
want to be able to
Right.
compare all the results from what we heard from you guys and from the stakeholder group to the community group.
Right, could
Um,
we just do civics pride slash?
Yeah, she did it.
Oh, thank you. I need to look this way. Yes.
Olivia's like, she goes
That's
fast.
On it. She's like,
Did
on
I
it.
capture the order correctly? I think you
Yeah.
said this order,
Yeah.
but
Yep,
That works. Yeah, thank you.
Good idea. I like that.
Get your fingers and it's done.
yeah. So then, given that one of the answers is community identity, one of the things we spoke about with Noreen and Angel was really exploring like, what is the identity of Brisbane? How would you describe the identity of Brisbane? For example, what 3 to 5 characteristics, values, or themes immediately come to mind when you think of Brisbane? And then we want people to be able to, write if they
Yes.
want to, or just give short answers, bullet points.
Works.
So someone might say butterflies, and someone else might say, people think our identity is butterflies, and that's not true.
Yeah.
Dead moose heads.
City of stars.
Crazy raccoons.
So number 9 is again, the number 9 and 10 actually are both similar question, the same questions that
Right.
we use for our stakeholder groups and for you guys as well.
I have a question about 9, and I'm not sure. There,
Mhm.
should we have, and this is for an accompaniment of where public art can presently be used? That we have that map where we can do public art right now.
Oh,
So when we say parks, trails,
Oh.
neighborhoods, do you know what I mean? I don't know if there's an understanding from the public
where it could be.
where it could be.
Like,
Well, we
I want
could
it in
do
my
this-
front yard.
Yeah, right, yeah, like, wait, you mean I can't have it in my front yard? I'd like a fence personally, to my back.
I'd like a dragon.
I'd like.
No, she'd like a totem pole.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm just
She's got a long
wondering
list.
if we,
And a bench.
if, it may not be necessary, but I'm just wondering. If that,
I think-
Yeah.
I think it's
I think it's
straightforward.
implied that you can't have it on your
Okay.
personal property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, I'm fine.
That's a good question to ask though. And I think because, there is potential to collaborate with private property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we show the map, then it might feel limiting.
Right?
Camille's
Example.
house right there.
Madhouse.
Okay,
Yeah, good night, Mr.
Right.
Or nothing.
And like Molly said, another question that we asked the committee and the smaller stakeholder group, and we actually added F, educate, because that really came through with both groups.
yes, I like these.
Great. Then 11, what public art criteria are most important to you? Please rank in order of importance. Use these reference images as examples for each criteria. So you all have the definitions there, and I'm going to show you on my screen the reference images we chose. Because again, these are intended to sort of get them thinking about, okay, what does culturally rich mean? We have here contemporary, diverse, showing a couple pieces, integrated, traditional, and edgy.
I think that
Ah.
question is very educational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly, going back to 10 before we get into this real fast.
Yeah.
There's a comment about B.
Yeah, see, there's a word missing in there.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah, on 10, because it's support local, and I think artists should be in there, support local artists.
Oh, great. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I missed the transition to discussing.
Can we go back to the images real quick
Yeah.
Yeah,
too?
let's go
One
back.
more time for 11.
Yeah, so here's unexpected,
Idea.
edgy, traditional,
Yeah.
integrated, diverse, contemporary, and culturally rich.
How is this culturally
Yeah.
rich?
I selected this one because I was trying to connect it to Brisbane specifically, saying like, oh, because that's what the prompt says in there. So it's like, okay, if we have a large iconic lit star, that could be representative of the city. Alternatively, I kept going back and forth because I was thinking, well, I could also do one that's like showing a different city, like Vancouver, for instance, has a giant orca whale. But I
Yeah,
didn't
like,
want to confuse people either and have them be like, why is there an orca?
I would
that
like
to me was
move
like,
it
that, we would what?
I would like to see, well, if we do a city with another one as opposed to deciding what.
But
To
ours
me,
is a
that,
stone.
that's just like a sculpture. I don't see that as
Yeah, you
being.
know what I'm wondering, if you can find a picture of the shell mound in Emeryville. Where they've created at the shopping center
Yeah,
on Shell Mound Way or whatever it is. They've
Shell
got a
Mound.
replica of the shell mound, they've got large baskets.
Oh,
That,
Yeah.
that to me, like, that would
Yeah.
speak to, when you're talking about.
Culturally
Culturally
relevant, yeah.
representative, it's like the Ohlonias, we've got 2 shell mounds in Brisbane.
Yeah,
And so that to me would speak to what you're trying to get at with A.
and
okay.
I would definitely use another city.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So we're
Yeah.
not pigeonholing ourselves into Brisbane, City of the Stars, and God help
Right.
us, let's not have another butterfly.
Yeah.
We
end up
don't like
loving
what
more
this artist
diversity.
comes up with a butterfly. I'm just saying, you know.
It could come. But
Olivia, will you add Emeryville in there, since that's, you said it was in Emeryville, right?
Yeah, it's not, it's the.
Emeryville.
Yeah,
I'm
Shell
sure when I
Mound.
Google it, it'll pop
Yeah,
up.
Emeryville
Didn't wanna
Shell
forget.
Mound Shopping Center.
But then I
Is
guess,
it? Yeah.
Oh,
but then
okay.
you'd have to.
But
put
I don't know that that's.
It
If I
is
looked at
tough.
only the photo though, they're
Okay.
showing us only the photo. If I looked at this, I would have no idea that that's
Okay.
that.
Or if we could find something that like is more, cause that, when I sit there and I think about like. Art should be culturally rich and represented the values and characteristics, that one of the things that's a characteristic of Brisbane that isn't represented in any of the other examples of art. Are things that go back to the indigenous population.
Sure.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was just the first thing that, I mean, there are angles on that look more
Yeah.
like public art. With the
Mhm.
giant basket, and you've got the shell mound, or the replica of the shell mound.
Well, they
that's
could be
there.
more than one. You could do the
Yeah.
orca from
Yeah.
Washington. You can do that. We
I
don't
just
have to
wouldn't
say
know
that.
that that's that,
but well,
having,
well, you'd have to embed in there from Emeryville, their shell mound, like you can't just
Right.
be the image, just be the image.
that's what I'm
with,
saying,
like,
it would
the
have to,
plan.
has to have
Right.
some kind of
Context.
description, context, because. For me, just seeing that, like, I wouldn't know, but if like totem poles in Canada, you would know
Right.
that that's
Yeah.
culturally
Yeah.
rich. I don't know how important it is to use. I think that's great that you're trying to fix that issue for them, but I don't know that I don't know that we need to show them an example of what it would be for Brisbane.
No, that's
No,
exactly
no,
what I'm
that's
saying.
fine. We'll
and
get,
it's
we'll,
also
we'll
like
scratch
looking for
that off.
something older than that stuff.
Scratch that
Okay.
off,
Is it-
select a
Sure,
new
yeah.
image. And
I'm
then I
gonna
think,
give you a little hint here, just because I just recently saw this mural. An artist by the name of Julie Engelman. She has done murals in Half Moon Bay, and now the city of Colma just finished utilizing her to do another mural that depicts the history of Colma. The one she did in Half Moon Bay did the history of Half
Right.
Moon Bay, and they are very culturally rich pieces.
Perfect.
Kind of reminds me of Mona's though, because
Yeah.
Mona talks about the indigenous and then
Yeah.
all the transformations of
Yeah,
Western
that's
Bay,
good.
so that's kind of.
Yeah.
Culturally, maybe they do a photo of
Yeah.
Mona's
Yeah.
mural that we already have.
No, I think it should be ideas that are not
Okay.
from Brisbane,
Okay.
so that
Yeah.
we don't clamp
Yeah.
someone into an idea.
Right.
Because there's many things,
Mhm.
it engages people in a conversation, which also ignites excitement and creativity.
and I
Okay.
think Madison, to your point, over the image, we can have like a little sentence that describes what it is they're looking at to help sort of make that
Yeah.
connection that
Yeah.
this image matches this city.
Right.
I love the idea of the historic murals, like the storytelling. I think that's spot on.
Can you put up art should be integrated one more time? 'Cause that was look like a playground maybe, and I don't know.
Oh, it's got, it's integrated into the landscape architecture and it also has functional lights with it as well.
Okay. Oh, I see the lights.
Maybe a few more examples.
Yeah, I don't know if that one's as clear. Like
Okay.
art should be integrated, like,
I
They-
think more
that-
like the
like they had-
bench.
The bench that
with the
had the
umbrella.
umbrella. to
Oh,
me
yeah,
is
we can
exactly
use
what I was
that one.
thinking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To me, that's like
Mhm.
art is integrated in the
Yeah,
space,
Within the space, that's really good.
Perfect.
deeply
Like,
into the space.
everyone loves that image.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
And which one did you use for the unexpected? I don't remember that one.
It was like.
Was that the little
woven-
mouse underneath the?
that one we had, this one we had for unexpected.
I like that
I
one.
like that.
think
one.
that's
That's,
fine.
that's cool.
Okay, I just love that little image, like the
I know.
unexpected part that you always
The
say, like that little-
surprise.
the surprise art.
But it's also
Oh.
integrated.
Remember?
too.
Yeah.
I love
This is
that.
also
But
integrated.
this is experiential, playful, fun, interactive.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
more that
Yeah,
than,
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
you know.
What's up the edgy
Okay.
one? Is that an edgy?
That looks
I do like
edgy.
Like an orgy.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
it's edgy. Well, that's why it's edgy.
It's supposed to make you feel
That's
uncomfortable.
why it's edgy.
Yeah,
To me,
it's
it's like,
naked people, the people out,
Just
half
let
that town's
people
gonna go
fit
nuts.
together.
You want a different image than that one?
it's
No, no,
supposed to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah,
wanna
survey
take
is
it.
perfect.
And there's an alien.
It is boundary
That's
pushing.
So,
Well, that's
yeah,
their
but that's
business.
the
I would
point
say
though.
I like it.
That's the point.
Saying take it away.
Because then we can say we asked
Yeah.
people what they wanted and they said absolutely not this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
it
could.
could.
Yeah. Or maybe they all want it.
Oh,
Yeah.
More like this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and we were trying to also think about what, like, on a, thinking about the different imagery, things that felt very approachable and understandable as opposed to like mega pieces,
Yeah.
like we didn't want to show like
Yeah.
the
I agree.
beam,
have
in
priorities.
Chicago.
Me
Like
too.
that, we're not gonna be doing that. So,
Yeah.
I like the partners.
Yeah. It's about movement, flexibility.
I really like it.
So, okay.
Okay, so last but not least, we have an open-ended question just to capture like big picture vision, thinking big, thinking ahead. What else would you like to see in terms of public art in Brisbane?
Perfect.
So a chance for people to write in if they have a thought or feeling that wasn't captured in the survey.
Yeah, I think that's good.
So now we only have a total of 11 questions.
I think that's fine. The
Are we
less, the
fully
better.
covered? You guys feeling
Yeah.
good?
Oh,
Everything's
yeah,
covered?
the
Oh,
less the
yes,
better.
I don't think too
Yep.
many questions.
No,
Once
no.
again, goldfish.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
You got 10 questions. Plus a long.
And we're asking them, would you like to take another
Perfect.
survey? Would you like to have a
Perfect.
survey about a survey?
Yeah.
We're like,
Oh, man.
We did an age-friendly survey. And it was put out by AARP. We were not allowed to change one question for any reason, because this is to apply for funding. So we have to do it
Mm.
their way, and it took 40 minutes to complete.
wow.
And we got hundreds of responses, believe it or not.
Wow.
Wow.
It was teeth
A little
pulling
bit.
by.
Was
Hundreds?
Mhm, 150.
Did you tempt them? Did you bribe them with food or
We tried
something?
everything.
But it's painful.
It was really painful.
And this is the first of maybe a few surveys.
Yeah.
And we want them to want to take them again.
Yeah.
As things go along, we're gonna get clarity and more depth to what's going on.
Yeah.
So I like this. Thank you. Thank you for your work.
Yeah, this is good.
Thank you.
And
Thank
then,
you.
and then I just got Tom, so I sent it to Tom and Lisa ahead of time, so they knew they couldn't join us.
Yeah.
I didn't hear back from Lisa, but he
She's in the
said,
Bahamas.
well, she said she was gonna look at her email, but that's okay. I wouldn't either. There's no, yeah. The survey is good. Present and future are covered. Survey was short and thoughtful, perfect for my short attention span.
Goldfish.
He advises removing the 9-dot art logo. I love them, but we are paying for this and sending it to our biggest critics for their opinions beforehand. Sometimes people want to be involved and we will learn something from our boldest and most passionate and grab and lift some insight.
I don't know, wait, what is, I don't get that.
He wants.
He just wants
9-dot
our logo.
He was just.
We were-
East Palm Heights, you
We
asked?
were talking about
Tom
that.
Sewell, our-
We-
Oh,
our
Tom
commissioner.
Pool.
Tom Sewell.
We were worried that we wanted to be able to take some of the heat off you guys by putting that on there, but just in case, but we can,
I
that's
mean,
not. a
We
big
can
deal.
take it off.
That's just
Yeah.
his opinion, it's.
Yeah,
it's-
I
don't have a problem with
I don't have a problem.
Our master planning efforts, when we have consultants that we've hired, it's customary to incorporate
Okay.
their.
Also, I think
Okay.
people need to be familiar that like we have somebody
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
hired and
Professionals.
they're partnering with us on this process and getting them familiar. So if they see outreach or they see them being mentioned again in the future, they can start connecting like, oh.
Yeah, we
you
did
know.
this.
That's great.
Oh, they're the people who interviewed us. They're the people who sent out the
Right.
survey. They're the people who are
Okay.
keeping us.
Yeah, because we will be there, boots on the ground at
So
at
three
the end of
busy days.
July. So
Yeah.
we're gonna kick off this campaign right now with this updated survey, and we're gonna include it in the newsletter so that there's at least a first touch point. Then it's gonna also live online. And then we are also gonna we're gonna have paper copies that can get handed out to the community as well. And then when we arrive, sort of be the culmination of this first survey, and that's gonna be, we're gonna be at the farmer's market, and then a concert on Friday, and then the garage sale on Saturday. So we'll have 3 days of community time to like really be there and talk to folks about this.
And could you drive and bring a U-Haul so that you can buy a lot at the garage sale? To take back with you?
Sure, I
So
love
we can
garage
clean our
sale.
garage.
Bring an extra suitcase.
Yeah.
A few extra maybe if there's a suitcase for sale at the garage sale, we'll buy it there and then.
There you go. Thank you.
So the other places we put paper surveys always is at the library and at the senior center, because they feel
We'll do
very
all of that.
included.
Yeah.
When we take anything that's going on down there, and they're very engaged if we can.
And the printout ones will have some of the images, right?
Yep.
And,
Yep, we
right,
can include those.
and then we had also at one point talked that this was also gonna be in Spanish. Were you guys doing that or are we doing that? You're doing that. Who's doing that?
We can do that.
I think
Yeah.
Google Forms does translate, so.
Okay, I mean, we have Spanish speakers that we could confirm that that was done correctly if you're gonna run it through Google Translate, or
No,
if you
we're-
have somebody on your staff that does that.
We have someone we have a
That's
couple
okay.
people on staff that can do it, so.
Okay,
We have
great.
30% of our population is Chinese speaking too, 39 English, 30% Asian, and only 16% Hispanic, so we need to bear that in mind.
Chinese, we do not have anyone on staff for that.
I feel like most of the time the Chinese do tend to be more fluent,
I'm just
bilingual.
giving you numbers. What
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's relevant, but I'm giving you the numbers.
Well, no, I
So
appreciate that.
recently, what happened? We got this data recently through elections
Mhm.
committee. We asked, oh, no, it was,
Charter city elections issues.
or maybe it was,
I got it from the census.
hold on, maybe it was when they went and they talked to people on Thomas. There was something that was outreach and it was like, how do you like know everyone's checked like English? What language do you prefer to
Yeah.
use? And all of everyone checked English and there was like maybe a few that checked Spanish.
Cause they're in the.
But something recently we got that like,
Mhm.
what
Okay,
language
so
would you
you
like
would-
us to?
I would like
connect
us
with
to
you?
be very cognizant of this in anything we put out moving forward.
What we can do is we can maybe interpret a sentence that says, if you would like to receive a copy of this survey in another language, please contact
Mhm.
so-and-so and just translate that statement at the front of our surveys.
I have someone in Brisbane who will do a Brisbane business, female in business, woman of color who will do Mandarin translations.
Okay.
And
If
we'll
you
look at
need-
staff here too, because we have some staff that also do that, and that's part of their extra pay of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
translation.
Yeah,
goes-
If you,
goes
if you
with
don't
that.
have it in-house, I'm
So let
saying.
me
Yeah,
see,
thank you.
let me
Okay.
check.
But that's a good idea to ask
with
if they need it.
Chinese.
And then they can request it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Or you may just, I mean, Google Translate might
Yeah.
be sufficient
Yeah.
enough, you
Yeah.
can just
Yeah.
have the form.
The hot topic right now, let's not
Mhm.
lose that.
Yeah,
Yep.
so maybe have the Chinese Mandarin translate on Google, and then we can send it to one of our staff.
Well,
people
if
here
some,
and-
Yeah.
if it's okay, but I'm just saying, but let's not, if they could just get the first original statement out, if you need this.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
we may not even need
Okay,
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
true. You're right. If most people said they prefer English, then we might be all set, like you said.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Well, we'll
So
add
we
that.
should be prepared in case.
Add
of,
that
but-
in, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then if we get a request, we can provide the translation
Right.
at that time.
Speaking of
Like
which,
doing it on the fly.
is this is going to be available online, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, with the images, we need to have a written description of the images for people who are
See, visually
using
impaired.
online readers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So just give us the descriptions,
Yeah,
because
we'll
usually
give
when
the
we
alt
upload
text.
them onto our website, or
Yeah.
are they jumping to your website for that? Is it
No.
gonna be on our main page?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
gonna put it on your,
Yeah.
on the main page, yeah.
Yeah, so we load our photos like that currently, so as long
Yeah.
as Caroline
Yeah.
or I
Yeah.
know what the description is, we can put it in there as
Yeah.
the photo. Like
Okay.
who the artist is and what it looks like, sort of.
Great.
Yep, absolutely. We do the alt text on our website too.
yeah.
Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for all of the thoughtful commentary and feedback. I think that really, really helpful stuff. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So the
Great.
big launch for this is gonna be, June first, because it hits the Star newsletter, so it'll be the first, second, and maybe half of the third page, and people can just rip it off and drop it in, or drop it in the mailboxes, or whatever. That's Caroline's working on all of that with Matt. It'll be up on our website.
when is
By
this
then.
launch, that day? Or is it available, cause like I have a luminary coming out next week. so
Yeah,
I
we
could
had
put it
talked
out
about
there.
that, about doing it, with a business angle. For
Yeah.
you, right? And maybe
Yeah, because if
talking
you
with the
wanna reach
ladies.
people who,
We
you
do.
can't tear it out, I
Mm-mm.
mean,
No.
well.
But they can go to the website.
Yeah.
They would just be linked to the website. of
But maybe
where
you
it's
guys can
online
get me,
survey.
maybe $9 can get me an article or something.
Yeah, we had talked
Or
about that.
someone.
You guys would be able to take parts of your, past projects or whatever. I think you guys had talked about doing.
I have
that
a
and
really
getting
big
it.
issue so like I have the most space I like of any issue I would ever have.
Oh, okay.
So
So you
I,
want more.
I can put in a lot of content, so.
Oh, okay.
And then I could run it again in June.
Mhm.
And I could probably run it again in July. When are you coming? June or July?
July.
July,
But
end
I'll
of
run it
July.
again,
So we've got
because
June and
it's-
July. Yeah.
It's important to have as many, you're reminding
And-
people as much as
Yeah, and you
possible.
don't need
Yep.
the survey in there, but if you could get a business article and then the link to the survey, correct?
Yeah,
It could just be a link to the project page, which would have the
Mhm.
survey posted on it.
Yeah, but I think I think,
Mhm.
Molly had talked about that they've done little, like, from the
Yeah.
business perspective, why art is important to connect to the community and all
Yeah.
that. You've talked
Yep.
about that before, so they could get something
Yeah.
like that. angle
Oh, yeah,
for
we
you.
definitely can we've got all of that information we can pop together for
It
you.
goes
That's
to
a
all
great idea.
businesses. It's a business and
Awesome.
community journal, so that would be a good way to like,
Yeah.
if you wanna get business input.
Yeah,
Maybe we should just have you work with them.
that's a
And
great idea.
Madison, by when do you need that?
Tuesday of next week. Okay,
Work?
Tuesday of next week, and then when does it go to publish, or when does it go out?
that Friday, so next Friday.
Oh,
So
good.
we need to make sure the survey is up on our website by then, not necessarily by.
Yeah.
No,
it's-
I think our goal is to get you everything you need by the 13th, which was be Wednesday, so maybe we just make it the 12th.
Because it has to be to Caroline then anyways.
Yeah.
We'll have it.
Yeah, so the 16th, or the 17th, it'll
Push out.
go to the mail. And then it'll probably start getting delivered the 18th and the
Okay.
20th.
Okay,
So,
Okay,
great.
good.
Cool.
Any other places we can pop it into, the better.
Mhm, mhm.
How about a QR code?
yeah, QR code's actually really good too. That
That's
can
easy.
just link to the
Good.
survey.
Yeah.
Mhm. Or
Definitely.
to our whole webpage,
Mhm.
our dedicated page.
Yep.
Our page.
Okay.
Yeah.
The more the merrier, keeping people involved.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I should probably talk to Molly They put out that 2-pager or
Marina.
4-pager Marina newsletter
They
to
just
their.
did one, so
That's okay, we can get their.
get the next
cycle.
one. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a.
Yeah, the Marina would be a really helpful one.
Cause I mean, we'll drop off, hard copies there anyway in their office, but she could always do a small blurb or something.
Yeah. I'm sure the people who know that, they would appreciate it.
Mhm.
Welcome.
Okay,
Great.
well,
Thank
thank
you.
you all, and we're
Great.
excited to see you in July.
All right.
Oh,
Thank
there's my
you.
son.
And we got kiddos.
And we've got kiddos.
Say hi.
All right.
All right.
Wave.
Ready for dinner time.
Yeah, they're like, Mom, it's 6:30. What are you doing over on the computer still?
Feed me. Come on, get with the program.
Yeah.
Oh, now I've got another one coming over. Okay. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye. All right.
Okay.
Okay. That's 8:15. I don't know where the agenda is right now, where we are.
Thing.
Is there any public comment?
I haven't received any, and we don't have anybody online. Just double check my email if I can see anything. No, I don't have any emails online for public comment for public art. So,
Our next meeting is June 17th at 4:30.
Now, that's just our normal third Monday. I
Yeah,
just always tend to put it on there, but if everyone could just check their calendars, see how if that's working. And now we're
Yeah.
getting into summer, then usually in July, we wouldn't have a meeting.
Really?
I think so, right?
That's
Or
August.
Maybe it's August, so we'll have
Yeah.
one in July, plus then.
We
they'll
should
just
have
come out
one in
that
July
week.
because
Yeah.
they're gonna be
Because they're
around.
coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna need to help do some prep
Yeah.
and, okay, so
How exciting.
I know, and we have 3 full activities for them to do, something
That's good.
in the,
Yeah.
Late
Well,
afternoon,
that'll want
something
good
in the
feedback.
evening for all the
Wonderful.
hanging out people to like daytime activity. We were very
Yeah.
excited the library was doing their garage sale.
So is that so that's not like the questions they're gonna be asking when they come, they're gonna be asking something else based on the results of this survey,
Yeah,
right?
they're hoping to wrap up the survey by the time they come
And then
be
use
engaging
that to
and,
be-
yeah.
Mhm. And hopefully they're.
Inform their next
And
step.
hopefully, I think we talked about doing like poster boards of, dotting, like, what kind of art they like to see and just getting more drawn out what they want to do and.
Yeah.
um,
Locations
Fun,
for art.
nice.
stuff like that.
Locations.
Yes.
Done them both.
mhm.
If you get your totem poles, I want a Deborah Butterfield horse.
Oh, okay.
All right.
No, I just,
Has nothing to do with Brisbane, but I'm in love with those horses.
I know.
Since the first time I saw them.
when we.
Ice House Hill has horses, it kind of ties in, we can
We're a
work the
Western
angle.
town.
When we
Yeah.
first did our walk.
And we can do also,
Prepathon. I
since
just
it was
thought-
Western Days, we could do a bronze of
Oh,
all the, police that were in armor that day too, on the last day of Western
Oh,
Days.
jeez. Yeah.
All right, let's not get off
Yeah.
topic now. Okay,
Have a
so
buffalo
June
roast.
17th,
17th, yes.
does that work for everybody?
Can I, adjourn the meeting?
Do I have agreement that June 17th?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
for
yeah.
those present.
I'd like to adjourn the meeting. All in favor? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everybody.